Hello everybody, Brenton here, along with DJ Adams and Oliver Rogers. And today we're going to talk to you about some of our development environment setups and how we personally develop on our machines with the OpenUI 5 goodness, amongst other things. But first, fresh, or rather say fresh, live from TechEd and Decode in Berlin, we have DJ joining us. Hi DJ. And DJ's on mute.
Hello there.
There we go.
But I'm okay now, yes. So, hello live from SAP TechEd ampersand D-code Berlin, the main event. The Las Vegas event was a really good warm-up. So now we're into the main SAP TechEd and Decode event. It's great. So off to a good start today. There was no jam yesterday, and we had the keynote session this morning that was mostly given by Bernd Leukert and Björn Goethe.
Excellent. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Was there anything interesting showing up?
There was tons of stuff. One truth, one platform, one experience.
Mm-hmm.
Was one of the main messages, some consistency there. But I think the thing that most people will probably take away from this keynote today was the live demo. And the live demo was about 15 minutes long. It was really good. It was live for 15 minutes. So in terms of previous TechEd live demos, this was immediately. So they went from mocking up on a piece of paper an app, and it just so happens to be a master detail style app. Use the SAP Web IDE to generate that app from scratch, based on a template. They connected to the backend data service, OData, of course. They ran that in the cloud. They tested it. It worked very nicely. They also used a new feature of Web IDE, which is this layout-based view declaration, so you can drop things down visually. And then they packaged it up and made a mobile application out of it. All basically in the browser. There's no Xcode on the local machine, no development per se, really, on the local machine apart from the browser, which I think in the light of what the conversation is pretty pertinent. And it all worked very well. I mean, clearly they did have mistakes, but it was pretty easy to see that.
Yeah, I must say I was watching it remotely and it looked really impressive as well. As you say, the one thing that really got me was the whole I can create for example, iOS IPA in 5-6 seconds and no interaction with an Xcode machine or an Apple machine or anything like that. It looked really impressive, actually.
Interestingly, also no requirement for the App Store.
Yes, absolutely. If you pardon my pun. So there we go. Excellent. Thanks for that summary, DJ. Hope you enjoy the rest of the conference as well. All right, so on to the main event, I think. So Oliver, seeing as we've heard from DJ, I'm going to start with you. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to go through our development environment setups, and as a OpenUI 5 developer yourself, I think hopefully you'll be able to show us some of the cool stuff you've got set up on your laptop.
Yeah, I may have a go at doing that. I guess I'm maybe slightly unique, and I tend to shy away from some of the cloud-based tools and do a lot of stuff on my laptop. Maybe that's actually also in keeping with some of the other guys out there. I don't know.
Well, it's in keeping with me anyway, so.
I know, actually, Brenton, you did post quite a lot of this on a blog on the SCN around using XAMPP, a local Apache server, reverse proxying some of the stuff back to your backend SAP system. And I guess a lot of this has become a lot easier. There's a nice Node.js module called Connect, and setting up one of these little servers and proxying to your OData source using something called Grunt, which OpenUI5 is now taking on as a way of building and preparing the library for the masses. It's still work in progress. A lot of the stuff they were doing internally with Maven can't be done with Grunt yet, but it's getting closer. Kind of cool.
And by you said they're taking it on, I'm gonna guess this is what you were showing me the other day. It's one of your first contributions to the OpenUI5 source, if I remember correctly.
It's not open, not the source for OpenUI5, but for the OpenUI5 Grunt task.
Excellent.
So the workings behind it. Thought I'd share what I was using to build libraries and components, etc. Hopefully that would help. And they've accepted the pull request, and it's now in, and it's used to build OpenUI5.
Superb. Well done. Cool. Yeah, you're getting a nice thumbs up from DJ. DJ, do that again. Cool. All right, so that's Grunt. What else have you got in your tool chest?
Tool chest. Chrome. I think we underestimate the built-in ability of the debugging tools available within Chrome. Hit F12 on any web page, and up pops the developer tools. And actually, F12 is the keyboard shortcut that most browsers use. And the one in Chrome allows you to sort of step through the code, put breakpoints,
It's awesome.
actually write code in the console, and change CSS styles, etc. But it's all temporary. It would be nice if that stuff kind of is saved and you can save it out. In fact,
You can do.
I think you can. Yeah,
Add all to workspace.
exactly. And recently, Firefox have announced that they've built a developer browser built for developers by developers, which I've started using, and haven't really come up with anything too impressive yet. But you can quite easily bolt on a Firefox OS simulator and get it to run your little web pages.
Oh, they're not pushing anything there with Firefox OS. That's definitely one of my go-to mobile platforms.
Yeah, I thought about that as I was spinning up the the simulator. That's probably one of only a handful that are out in the world now. But it does have tools to build into ADT, which is the Android development toolkit. You can spin up an Android simulator and run a PhoneGap or Clover application directly on there. And if you're using a Mac, and I'm actually do most of my development on Windows, which is I see DJ's.
We'll try not to hold that against you.
Raise. If you're running on a Mac,
You've got Windows and Eclipse.
You can actually run directly onto an iOS simulator. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, my Windows version isn't standard at all either. It's I'm running the technical preview of Windows 10. So if
doesn't that mean everything you're doing is logged and sent to Microsoft, and passwords?
Maybe. But I'm actually quite pleased with their sort of feedback mechanism for Windows 10. You can browse to everything anyone said about platform in their feedback and add your own things. Whether they take it into account, I don't know. But again, it's another mobile target.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. Okay, so now so far we have Grunt, we have Chrome. I'm going to throw the next one into the mix, purely because I can. And although you mentioned XAMPP, and I'm not going to mention that at all today, but I am going to share my screen for a minute. So share screen, and you guys. Oh, we got the screen of death. There we go. So you guys should be able to see my screen now. And what I am going to show you is my preference for my local web server. So, and this gives me a chance to rant as well, because all too often we're seeing a lot of web development happening on web servers that are not secure. So they're using over port 80 or not using SSL to actually communicate. So I've actually set up my Apache server locally so it only runs on HTTPS, which is, I know, a controversial decision, but there we go.
Yeah, but it's the future, isn't it? I mean, you know, I think it will happen eventually.
I think so, and also with the speed of servers now, in that, you know, it's no longer a massive overhead to be able to do this encryption and whatnot on the fly as standard. I think that we're going to be seeing a lot more of it, which is why, rather than, you know, try and use a non-encrypted server right now and then do all my development and then put it onto an encrypted server and something acts slightly differently, I'd rather do all my development on something that's secure, even though it's local on my laptop and it's utterly pointless. At least I'm closer to what it will be in the end.
Yeah, I think the things where you get tripped up are where you're doing reverse proxying, for example, or content on your right pages. It's those sort of things that do actually trip you up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've been bitten by that before, especially with the SAP mobile platform and whatnot. You know, you switch to SSL and suddenly things start breaking. But there we go. Okay, so that's my first one. The second one then is, I'm sure I've mentioned this before when we've been talking about tools and whatnot, is brackets. So brackets is one of my go-to editors of choice. And I've never really got into why, other than I like it, it's lightweight and whatnot. I've never actually spent any time telling you guys why I like brackets. So I thought I'd show you this very basic SAP or OpenUI 5 application, which I use. So I'm using a local version of OpenUI 5 installed there, although I know I have it on the proxy SAP UI 5 just to confuse people. But what I really like about this this IDE is JSLint built in. So what it's encouraging me to do is, as I'm writing my JavaScript, it's encouraging me to write good JavaScript, not just JavaScript that will work. Obviously, it will work. All my code works first time, but it's encouraging me to write good JavaScript. So if I open what this looks like right now, which is Super Search, which is just a search box, I can search and say I'll search for Oliver Rogers, and it'll do absolutely nothing, but obviously the code's working in the background. So what I can do is I can change that and say, actually, I want to alert what I've actually searched for. So I'm going to alert the search parameter. And watch as I save this, I get a exclamation mark down here, and it says alert was used before it was defined. So alert is obviously a standard JavaScript function I can use, but as far as this file is concerned, it's never heard of it before, so how could I be using it? So it's forcing me to use best practice when I'm actually saying what I'm using. So in this case, I'm now utterly screwing it up. In this case, I put in alert up in my global variables at the top for JSLint, and suddenly it's going, oh, okay, I like your indentation, I like what you're using, and it all makes sense. And then if I pop back over here and refresh my page, and I search for DJ Adams, do a search, I get my pop-up saying DJ Adams. So it's a really nice IDE from a lightweight and really quick perspective, but it also has really nice features like this JSLint built in, encouraging me to write good code, not just code. Okay, so that's my second one. DJ, I think you're next.
I'm next. Okay, so I'll segue from that into look at my screen, actually. And
oh, it's me.
One of the things that's oh, is it you? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we got your screen now. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, one of the things that has been very popular at tech is the SAP Web ID. Now, it's a really nice that runs through the browser, and it's a sort of plugin-based architecture. There's lots of point because it shows link to various videos about it. Some of it's made, and it's just a big present.
I'm going to ask Ollie just to confirm there, DJ, but I'm actually struggling to hear you at the moment. Ollie, can you hear DJ?
Oh.
Yeah, he's a bit faint.
Is that better?
That's much better. There we go.
Is that better? Okay, I'm holding the microphone almost in my mouth, but that'll work. Okay, so I'll say that again. So the SAP Web IDE, previously known as River IDE, previously known before that as WAT, and it also has its genesis in a couple of products, the App Designer and Builder. So it's a web-based IDE. It's not going to be my IDE, my primary IDE of choice, but it's a really, really already accomplished environment. And one of the things that it does really well from the get-go is what you've been talking about here, is sort of linting and error checking and so on. So if I look, for example, if I go into the application and start typing whatever it is, it will give me fatal syntax errors from ESLint. So there's different plugins. There's also style guides as well. So it will also say, well, the style of this particular project or the style of this particular sort of setting for your IDE dictates or suggests that you use tabs instead of spaces or whatever. So right out of the box, rather than an afterthought, it's doing this thing automatically. And I think the default settings are really nice. So that's the SAP Web IDE. Now, I've been playing with that recently. Generate apps and stuff. And that's a really real killer feature of a lot of these from the web perspective. You can use the plugins to generate basic templates, to generate apps that get you almost to the point where you're done. I mean, there's still more work to be done, but you're starting. But actually, my development environment of choice is that.
I was wondering which one of us was going to bring that up first.
It's very calm. Yeah, no, it's very calm. And see, the thing is about today's development, at least front end, is that it's all about the artifacts. It's all about the actual files. So test files, HTML, JavaScript, OpenScript, whatever. And those files are really important. So just like we want to link them, syntax check them, we also want to talk about them, we want to sort of socialize the coding aspects of it, code reviews and so on. So you need the code outside of the SAP system to do that properly.
Yeah.
Now that's a whole other subject. Basically, my development environment choice is Bash, and I have my directory with in, and in fact, I'm sharing via a symbolic link content from my local installed Web IDE.
How much does this development environment cost, DJ?
It costs £0 and no pence. In terms of careless, this development environment costs nothing at all. It's just beautiful. Start Vim, and I've got my word tree installed here. I can go, for example, product, my user, master view, and start editing that. It's really nice. Or I've got lots of other plugins as well. So Vim is where it's at, and with lots of different Vim plugins. For example, with the Vim Fugitive plugin, I can do all sorts of Vim stuff. I can do all sorts of development closure, which is but just before we leave this, the same sort of Bash development runs my server. So I've got TJ5 actually there. I've got all sorts of historic versions of UI5. 1.16.3,
I remember that version.
Static server. Remember that. My goodness, 110. There's 110, for example. I'm that old. And I've got a little static server, which is a node-based server. Okay, it doesn't serve HTTPS, but it does me fine for now. And that means that I've got my local host. I can go to the UI5 directory and choose a particular SDK or a runtime. This runtime here, I sort of extracted from the Orion Web IDE locally installed. So I've got to do my runtime. Anyway, so I've got my local server here. I've got my projects. And the thing that I like most is I've got a little empty UI5 project. Now, if I look at that, back to what Ollie said right at the start, it gives me the ability to start from scratch and start doing things like new. See that? The new stat.button
And add
text.
stuff on the fly and show it off.
Yeah, just start playing around. There we go. So
Yeah.
it's incredibly important. It's a few keystrokes, get something right and try. So yeah, that's my development environment choice. A local laptop, running a local web server, there's lots of different versions of the SDK, but most importantly, it's Vim in Chrome development.
Excellent. Thank you, DJ. All right. Well, unless you two have anything else you wanted to discuss or any tools you think we should cover in the last few minutes, I suggest we wrap up shortly.
Well, I realised that you actually went past me without actually learning which IDE I used.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So what IDE do you use? Because I know the answer to this, of course, but
I got stuck in Grunt. So my IDE of choice, and how do I share screen on this? He says
it's the green button over on the left with the arrow.
green button in the left with the arrow. Let's do entire screen. Why not?
You want to share screen?
Cheers, DJ. So my IDE of choice is actually Webstorm. And there's been a few blogs actually that probably explain this better than I may hear on the SCN about how to configure this and also add the right external libraries and get code completion working for your XML. But it just seems to work. And it seems to be so configurable in settings that you can literally do pretty much anything you like. And this actually is, we were talking about earlier, Grunt and the Grunt task. This is actually the project that Webstorm was created for me to edit the project. It's that Git repository. And in fact, I can go away and tell it to oh, of course that's not going to work. I can go away and tell it to look at the grunt file and be able to run specifically the steps in grunt. Let's see if I can run this again. Why not? So this is the problem of using
pre-release Windows.
Pre-release version of Windows.
It's all right. In the meantime, DJ was showing us off his UI5 T-shirt, which is absolutely awesome. And just because I can, I'm going to show off my UI5 T-shirt because we coordinated our dress for this particular.
That was amazingly unprompted. But,
I feel slightly underdressed now.
Yeah, you should.
Anyway, the trials of using an unreleased version of Windows. But, you should be able to run grunt tasks from within a little banner down here. You view all your changes if you have any to come back to your Git repository, and also you have the great power of saying, let's have a look. This, by the way, is the best way of having settings. You just have a search bar so for JavaScript settings, and here it's highlighted them all.
Nice.
There it says JavaScript. Inspections, code style. So you can say, well, I actually want tabs instead of spaces, which is the convention for the Open UI5
not want tabs instead of spaces.
Apparently, that's the convention for the Open UI5 repositories. There we go. But you can enable JSLint, JSHint, which is slightly slightly more configurable than JSLint. You also got ESLint, which is the linting tool used by OpenUI5 built in. Closure lint, all these sorts of things. And the ability to build Cordova apps and use plugins from within the IDE itself.
Okay, you might be starting to convince me on this Webstorm thing that you've been pushing at me for the last how long?
Yeah, unfortunately, there is one downside. It's not open source. It's paid for, but you get what you pay for, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Sometimes.
So we have VIM,
One of the
Webstorm,
thoughts- one of the
and
thoughts-
brackets.
Oh,
Go on, DJ.
one thought that maybe we'll want to leave this session with is that, in fact, the whole point is that none of our environments are the same. What's important is not the environment as it used to be with R2, R3. All of us used SM38, SE38, SE80, and so on. Without even thinking, we all use the same thing, and it's done to us. Actually, now what's important, not the environment, but it's the artifacts, and it's also, as well as the artifacts, the files. It's what we do with them and the features that we apply to them, like linting, and also the social aspect of code use as well. That's what's important. How you actually achieve that is really down to the individual.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
And it is actually a personal choice. So the three of us could use our dream environments, dream development environments, still working on the same project together, and still produce something magical at the end of it. It's up to the end developer. It's whatever you're used to and whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, your environment should aid, not hinder. That's it. Right. Well, thank you very much to the two of you. We will be back over the next few weeks, hopefully, with another one of these sessions. We're considering a few topics, but of course we are open to suggestions. And so we hopefully will see you all then. But in the meantime, it just takes me to thank Oliver for joining us as our special guest this week. And DJ, thank you very much for taking the time out of TechEd and Decode. And I hope you enjoy the demo jam tonight.
It's Demo Jam tonight, and the band, and lots of things.
Excellent. Cool. All right, thank you very much to the two of you, and see you all again soon.